Hello baby queers and welcome back to my channel. It is time for some good old aromantic and asexual TikToks. This is gonna be fun. But you know the drill. Before we get started, go get hydrated, grab some water or some tea or whatever else you like to drink. And then we'll look at some TikToks. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. Once again, starting really strong with a do you think you might be aromantic? If you're not sure, there you go.
Do you think you might be aromantic? If so, keep watching this video because I'm going to be talking about the things that helped me realize that I'm aromantic. Let's go! The first thing I'm going to talk about is how my childhood crushes were not real crushes. I used to think that I couldn't be aromantic because I had crushes growing up. But then I spent some time reflecting on my crushes and I realized some really interesting things. One, I simply did not know what a crush was for the longest time. I genuinely thought that your crush was just the person of the opposite sex in your class that you liked the best. And I stuck with that for years, and I ran into some problems. Like, two, I thought you could just pick a crush. So when other people didn't have a crush, and people would ask them, who's your crush, who's your crush, who's your crush, and like bother them, I'd be like, just pick someone. And they would be like, what? Number three is that when someone said that they had a crush on my crush, everyone would look at me like, oh, and my reaction was simply, I don't care. Like, I don't like him that much anyway. Four, I barely even thought about this man. Like, I genuinely, like, the only times I would think about him was, like, when I had to, or when I wanted to write a silly little, like, girly diary entry, you know? And it wasn't that serious. Number five is that I didn't actually want to date him. Like, I didn't want him to ask me out, and I never ever thought about ever asking him out. So that was actually just 5 reasons why my childhood crush was actually a huge sign that I'm aromantic. Now let's do a lightning round! I never had a celebrity crush, so in 7th grade when someone asked me who my celebrity crush was, I panicked and said Tom Felton. I think people lie when they say how much they love their partners. There's no way you'd do anything for him. I also thought people exaggerated about breakups. I was like, there's no way you cared that much. When I imagined my wedding day, I never imagined past the vows because I always ended up running away at the altar. Stuff like, you're my other half, or love at first sight make me kind of cringe. Ugh. In high school and college, I got into some relationships really quickly because I felt infatuation for them and I thought it was a crush, but then all my feelings would disappear really quickly into the relationship, and then I would just feel kind of like trapped and like confused and just hoping that those feelings would come back, and they like wouldn't. But now I know that I'm happier single and I have a very happy life planned out for myself, and I'm very proud to be aromantic. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps someone. Goodbye!
Okay, this is a long one, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna forget half of it, but to me personally, it's just way too relatable, especially the kind of picking crushes, but then either not caring at all, like a day later, because you just kind of randomly picked someone, just like, yeah, that person is kind of like conventionally attractive, like I won't get into any like I won't get shamed if I say I like them. If someone keeps bugging you, you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I like them. But at the end of the day, it's not that deep. Or being really offended thinking someone has a crush, like someone thinking that you have a crush on someone because they're of the opposite sex and you just like spend some time with them, and then people will be like, oh, you have a crush on them, and you're just like, what? No, I spent my lunch break with them, what's the big deal? And just being really confused about it. Just being like, no, I just wanted to play with them, like they wanted to play the same thing or something, like in 2nd grade, literally. I was so confused. And I wasn't even like a late bloomer, right? Like normal puberty stuff happened quite early. So you can't really say I'm a late bloomer because all those hormones still happen, but the crushes didn't happen. Oh well. But anyways, if you weren't sure before, I hope this kind of helps.
Put a finger down, aromantic challenge. If you have 6 or more fingers down, you might be on the aro spectrum. Put a finger down if the idea of getting asked out by a stranger makes you super uncomfortable. Put a finger down if you always preferred field trips to school dances growing up. Put a finger down if you see movie theaters and restaurants as fun places to hang out with a friend group. Put a finger down if you've never had a romantic crush or you've only had a few. Put a finger down if PDA makes you super uncomfortable. Put a finger down if you've been accused of crushing on friends that you just really like. Put a finger down if reading or watching romantic fiction sounds really boring or unappealing. Put a finger down if you're also way more comfortable with fictional romance than in real life. Put a finger down if you imagine your future without a romantic partner. And put a finger down if people always ask you when you're going to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
And also just for the longest time, because I'm trans and I always said like, oh, I'm not interested in dating. People were like, oh yeah, no, it's understandable. Like, of course you want to like focus on yourself and like, you know, just like make sure you're transitioning to the point that you feel comfortable with yourself. Like, of course that's more important to you. Like, of course you're not going to want to date. Like, bro, that's rubbish. That's such rubbish. So many trans people, no matter where they are in their transition, want to date and want to be in a relationship. Whether they actually like pursue that or not because they might feel like insecure or too dysphoric is a different story. But if you're not aromantic, you still have those urges and like still want to be in a relationship. And that's what confuses me about people. But yeah, PDA, it kind of depends. Like hand holding, I don't care. But the way some couples make out in public, and I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about, is just uncomfortable. Like if you just like quickly kiss your partner, right? That's fine. That's fine. Like I don't have an issue with that, but like people like full on making out in public is just really weird to me. No, it's just weird. But listen, like a lot of things that read as romantic, like going to a restaurant with someone, even if it's just like one-on-one, if you just like go with one friend and then like take a walk in the park afterwards, reads as romantic to a lot of people, but to me it just doesn't. And it confuses me why people read everything as romantic. I'm just gonna say that. It just confuses me. This was apparently someone's conversation with their partner. Well, listen. The good thing is, if you're both aromantic, you're just both like, I'm not sure this makes sense. I guess it's more comfortable if you both feel the same way, because then you can just kind of more easily find a solution maybe of like, do you want to continue dating? Do you just like want to be friends with benefits, or just like a QPR or like a queer platonic relationship? You can kind of figure out those details maybe a little bit easier if you both feel the same way. Because if one of you is like super romantic and like really wants like a romantic relationship in that sense, it might be difficult to work out because you want different things, and it might be really painful because you might actually just like have to break up and like not be able to stay friends or something. So it's a bit tricky, you know? But if you both feel the same way, you might get lucky.
Really, what's your major? Oh, it's mathematics. Wow, you're so smart. I could never do that.
I cannot keep having the same conversation.
People thinking that the only way to spend your life with someone is in a romantic way is what confuses me. It's what confuses me. It's what confused me in the last video about monogamous people to be like, oh, you can only spend your life with one person and that's it. It confuses me. Monogamy confuses me. The way people view relationships and romance in general confuses me. I don't get it. I just don't. This is kind of what happens actually, because a lot of aromantic people maybe think that, oh yeah, no, because you kind of start telling yourself that, oh, maybe I am just a late bloomer, like maybe I will find someone, because people keep telling you that's what's gonna happen. It's like, oh, you'll fall in love one day, and oh, don't worry, you'll find someone. It's so frustrating, but listen. Then you start to think that, maybe they're right, because people keep telling you over and over, and you kind of follow that. And then at the end of your string, you just find Nothing. And honestly, for some people, it's really hard to come to terms with that they're not gonna have like a romantic partner in that sense. I'm not gonna tell you that it's okay, because honestly, you have to figure out what's okay for yourself. But literally, it really shouldn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, you have to do what makes you happy, right? I don't know if I'm even making sense right now, but
Thank you! Titan has freed us!
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
well, your mom can go screw herself. Because literally, just chill. It's not that deep. Like, what does it matter to you? As long as your kid is happy. Like, isn't that what you want for your child, to like have a fulfilling life and be happy? It doesn't matter if you had different ideas for that kid. Like, most parents probably picture that kid growing up to be straight and kind of like ending up in a long-term relationship and starting a family of their own. Whatever, if that's not what's your kid wants, it really doesn't freaking matter. I literally don't wear rings because they give me sensory issues, but I do have black rings for this exact reason. And I also love my Doc Martens, so you're not going to come for that. And black cats are literally just cute. What are you trying to say? Literally, what are you trying to say? Black cats are just cute. They look like little demons. Come on, that's adorable. But also the sweater, I would not wear sweaters like this. I mean, if you haven't noticed by now, I mostly wear black anyways, but I would not wear sweaters like this. But I actually have that book. I haven't gotten very far reading it, but I have that book, you know?
Princess too.
What kind of a princess are you?
Do you have magic hair? No.
Magic hands?
No.
Do animals talk to you?
No.
Were you poisoned?
No.
Cursed?
No.
Kidnapped or enslaved?
No. Are you guys okay? Should I call the police?
I mean, listen. If you're an asexual and any of these things are true about you, that's honestly fine. But kind of assuming all asexuals are the same and all asexuals are also like aromantic and don't want romance or would rather stay alone, it's kind of weird. Like, and also like I generally, this culture of being like, when someone comes out to you, just kind of ask all these kinds of questions about their identity and the details, which really should matter to you. Like, if they want to share that with you because you're like really close and they like talking about it, cool. But just like immediately jumping in and asking all these questions, it's kind of weird, man. Okay, literally. It keeps confusing me when people have been together for that long. It confuses me, I'll be honest. My parents were married for 30 years. They didn't divorce or anything. One of them just died. But it confuses me how you can be together with one person for that long. Like, I'm not that old. I'm in my mid-20s. I cannot imagine being with anyone for that long. I don't know, because things change so much. And I feel like I've changed a lot. And obviously, when you get older, that might not be as drastic anymore. But how? I cannot get it into my head. Like, I can't.
Great. So aroace discourse is now on this app. Fucking great. By the way, the comments on that video are just absolutely disgusting. Reminder, aroace people are LGBTQ. Being LGBTQ isn't just about liking the same gender. It's about fighting heteronormative beliefs, which aroace people fit into. Aminonormativity is so prevalent in our society, as you can see Jade Animations struggled with in her childhood. That picture actually resonated with me from someone who is asexual, because being asexual can feel isolating from the rest of the LGBTQ plus community. And I hate seeing people make fun of that, because that image really resonates with me. If you think aroace people aren't LGBTQ, honestly, get some bitches. Like, seriously.
I don't understand the infighting. Because literally, isn't the whole point of having the LGBT community to kind of be able to like support each other and help fight for each other? Because as we all know, the cisheads are just very discriminatory. They do not like people being different. So at the end of the day, why does it matter to you what kind of different someone is? Like, if you're a gay man, it doesn't necessarily mean you can like fully understand what it's like to be aromantic or asexual. But why does that matter to you? Like, why can't you just be like, okay, I might not fully understand you, but I know what it's like to feel different or be discriminated against because I'm different, or keep being told that it's just a phase, or that I'll find a nice woman. Like, because the basis is still the same. If you're a gay man, people will tell you like, oh no, you'll find the right woman, like it's just a phase. If you're aromantic, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, you'll find someone. It's the same thing in a different disguise, really. So why? Kind of agree, get some bitches or some hobbies, or I don't care. Just find something better to do. Then shit on other members of your community. What are you doing? You're comfortable doing romantic things with people until there is a romantic intention. Kind of agreed, because literally a lot of things that read as romantic, like even going to the cinema with someone one-on-one as friends and like sharing popcorn, would be considered romantic by a lot of people. But maybe it's just cheaper to get the big bucket of popcorn instead of getting 2 small ones. Like, that's just smart. It doesn't read as romantic to me. Whatever. Anyways, you think you experience sexual attraction but unsure if you experience romantic attraction. Yeah, honestly, it can just be super hard to tell, actually, but fair. I think we overthink it a lot, and that's what makes it complicated, but still. You can't remember the last time you had a crush, or the last time you had a crush was very long ago. Yeah, and again, think about it. Did you actually have a crush, or did you just like randomly pick someone? Or maybe, like me, you just have ADHD and your brain just decided to hyperfixate on someone because it was bored. You know, you don't understand why people want romantic relationships. Too relatable. You only like people once you know they like you. I feel this one a bit too much, because if you don't really care about romance and if you don't really have crushes, it can kind of be easy to be like, oh, okay, this person likes me and I'm kind of like expected to be in a relationship and be interested in that, so I'm just gonna say I like them back. Kind of too relatable, actually. But all your crushes have been on fictional characters. Okay, but why you gotta call us out like this? I am in this picture, and I don't like it.
I needed that. I needed that too. You're pushing your luck, Scoop.
Hey, listen. I know it's a joke that Republicans like to make that, oh, we just want to collect all the labels. Yeah. Honestly, I want to make some letter soup, so I'm gonna need more letters. Come on. Yeah, that's kind of the thing about the whole, oh, when I was your age, we didn't have all these labels. Like, you maybe didn't have the language for it. Because especially like aromanticism and asexuality as something other than like a medical diagnosis, because that used to be a thing, are still relatively new. But just because you didn't have the words to describe something doesn't mean it's not a thing. And that's just kind of difficult, because then people live just feeling like something's wrong with them, because they're like, why does everybody want these things but I don't, so there must be something wrong with me, when the truth is people just are different, And I still don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. Again, this book, I'm very bad at reading. Like, I can read pretty fast, I just have a hard time concentrating on reading, so I haven't gotten very far. But then again, I have accepted that I'm aromantic, and I also rarely ever cry. So if I ever read it, I'll update you if I still cry my eyes out, or if it's literally just because, or like literally just that for people who haven't accepted it. Might let you know at some point. Why do you gotta call us out like this? Because literally, one of the last things that really made me realize that honestly, no, I am like asexual and aromantic is literally Henry Cavill as The Witcher is super attractive to me. I don't know why. Dude's super attractive to me. Like, but then I look at the actor himself and I'm just like, yeah, nah, he's a handsome man, sure, but he doesn't do anything for me. Because then it gets too real and then it's just unattractive. Oh well. Again, if you want to make alphabet soup, you're gonna need more letters. But it's not cool if you think you're done. Like, you think you're done, you're just like, no, it's okay, I don't want to make soup. It's fine. But the letters still keep rolling. Sorry about it. Yeah, but to be fair, if you're aromantic and a relationship ends, do you ever actually get that stressed about it? Or does it not really matter to you? I don't know, but I guess it's still fair.
Are you actually experiencing sexual attraction, or are you experiencing aesthetic attraction? Let's find out. I'm going to show you 3 different pictures. The first one is this stunning sunset. There's all these beautiful colors and clouds and the reflections in the water. Think about how you feel when looking at this. Next, we have this bookshelf. It's super cute, it's color coordinated, it's organized, but not so organized that it looks boring. Think about how you feel looking at this. Last, we have this super cute picnic. It's on a boardwalk by the water. It's super pretty. You might even want to be there yourself, if for nothing else, to experience that aesthetic. Think about how you feel looking at all those pictures. Is that feeling the same thing you feel when you look at a pretty person? If the answer is yes, you're experiencing aesthetic attraction.
If you feel the same when looking at a person than you do when looking at a sunset or beautiful scenery, I have some news for you. I wasn't gonna laugh because it's funny, but literally, why are we being racist out here and being like, well, I'd be aromantic too if my only options were Asian men? Do you realize how racist you're being? Because if not, go get some help. If you do, still go get some help, because dude, what is wrong with you? Literally. Anyways, the whole attracted to smell thing is pretty new. Like, I haven't heard that one before, at least, but it's kind of confusing because it sounds similar, but you do realize that that's generally how human sexuality works a lot of the time, that we are actually usually, like, if you are attracted to people, you are kind of also attracted to the way they smell. That's not the same as being aromantic. Oh well. This is what I mean. It doesn't really matter which letter in the alphabet soup you are. You're gonna get a lot of the same things, like, oh, it's just a phase, or oh, don't worry, you'll find someone, or I can change your mind. It's just gross. Y'all need to stop, no matter who you're saying it to. Literally just stop.
What is being asexual like? Of course, if we're assuming romantic feelings, for asexuals it's like hubba hubba, the eyes turn into hearts, and then for everyone else it's more like awooga, the eyes pop out of the sockets and then the tongue rolls out like a scroll. Does that make any sense? No!
Yes! That actually makes sense. Like, if you have romantic attraction, that just makes sense. I can picture exactly what you mean. Like, of course, people don't actually look like that, but it actually makes a lot of sense. It just makes sense. Come on, what are you doing?
It's time for another fun game that you asked for. You might be asexual if...
Fair warning, I'm probably gonna say sex a whole bunch of times, so...
You might be asexual if it seems like everything is always about sex and that annoys you. You don't understand why people can't just keep it in their pants. You don't understand the hype. You'd much rather be watching a movie or eating a bagel. You realize no one really does it for you. You think sex scenes in movies are typically really unnecessary and graphic. You feel no rush to get intimate with a partner. You'd much rather just do it yourself. You think about sex very scientifically, thinking more about the biological functions or the germs involved. You understand people are attractive to you, you just don't want to have sex with them. You've experienced sexual attraction, but it is very rare, random, or passive. You've only been sexually attracted to people you were very close to emotionally or romantically. You just don't really feel like it. And you don't have to. If this sounds relatable, stick around. I got you.
There you go for the asexual version to the you might be aromantic we started with. You might be asexual if any or a lot of these just sounded relatable to you. Because it doesn't have to be Henry Cavill. It can happen to anyone. There you go. I hope this helps.
Only 1% of the population is asexual. Yeah, less than 0.15% of the population lives in Ohio, but we still acknowledge their existence.
And that's Ohio we're talking about here. But literally, it's so dumb. Like, do you know how many people there are in the entire world? Because, yeah, sure, the statistic might be about, like, the US, but the statistic is still going to be, like, broadly applicable to a lot of different countries, because the ratio is probably going to be the same anywhere if it's, like, well, okay, it would be the same if it's, like, safe to be who you are wherever you are. Then, like, the whole statistic will kind of count worldwide. But still, that is a lot of people. That is a lot of people. What are you doing?
Okay. Things not to say to asexuals, and if you say these things, I will protect. No, that's not natural. Shut up, Chad. I bet there's so many nice Chads out there, okay? I take that as a challenge. Yeah, well, no one asked for your take on things. You should go see a doctor about that. No. Why do you dress like that if you're asexual? Asexuals can do whatever they want, so shut up. Yeah, what trauma caused you to have that? This one's like so inappropriate. Please stop. Yeah, well, how do you know if you've never had insert experience here? Do not say this. Do not say this. No. Thank you to all my amazing asexual followers on Twitter for contributing these.
Yeah, but literally, I mean, especially the trauma one, that's just so inappropriate. I mean, I know queer people kind of bond over that trauma, but you also know that queer people aren't the ones asking this question. It's the cishetes. And we don't talk about a trauma with the cishetes. Come on. Stay in your lane, mind your own damn business. Because even if it is caused by trauma, that's still none of your business. And that that's your go-to assumption is really just gross. And the whole, oh yeah, no, there must be something biologically wrong with you. Go see a doctor. Literally, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Why do you even care so much what someone else identifies with in the first place? But literally, it's none of your business. And don't consider it a challenge, that's just disgusting. Go fuck yourself, dude.
In honor of Pride Month that I missed, here's a few reasons why I love being asexual. Disclaimer, this is all my own personal experience and it's mostly just for the meme. Okay, number 1, the flag. Stunning, adorable, look at this lovely mix of color. Number 2, the rings. We look bad as fuck. Number 3, if you're upfront about being asexual, it's a great way to deter people who are just trying to get into your pants. Number 4, having a third eye that allows you to see the difference between romantic and sexual attraction. Not everyone has that. Number 5, not being horny on main. Number 6, not making drunken mistakes. At least not of the sexual kind. I'm still a dumbass. 7, people know you aren't objectifying them. Respect women and drink water, you thirsty fuck. Number 8, saving money. Sex sells, you say? Not to me. Try again, you capitalist pigs.
Okay, I am glad we ended on a positive one. Because literally, they have a point. Like, she has a point. Like, the flag is just pretty. So is the aromantic flag. I really like green, but I also really like purple. You know, and also being both is kind of cool because then you get to wear a white and a black ring, which just looks cool, right? Black and white is kind of an aesthetic, right? I mean, it's literally my aesthetic because I mostly wear black, but then I wear some white, you know, so that's pretty cool. The other reasons, also pretty fair because honestly, it's always nice to find what you appreciate about your sexuality or your romantic attraction because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, you can't change it. You can ignore it and try to pretend, but that's really not going to make you happy either. So you might as well accept it and not overly question it because I know we all do it. And we all need to stop because literally, you know, but then the doubt settles in again. Don't. Just kick it out. Kick it out the door. I know that's easier like said than done, but still, let's do that. And also, she has a point. Y'all better be hydrated out there. Be hydrated and respect women. So anyways, I'm gonna go drink some more water. You finish your drink, and I will be back in 3 days with my next video.